All right, Wilson, let's get the weekend started, shall we? Downtown Billings, 31 degrees. It's Friday. And here's a look at First News. Fair, accurate. You get the damn truth here, and brought to you by the folks out there at Hardin Chevrolet. They're desperately fighting the fires that come up every year at this time out in California. With the Santa Ana winds blowing, always causes problems. A wildfire out there near Camarillo has destroyed 132 structures. The mountain fire started Wednesday morning in Ventura County. It grew to 32 square miles. It's 5% contained at this point. 10,000 people remain under evacuation orders. It continues to threaten some 3,500 structures in the suburban neighborhoods and ranches and agricultural area around there as people like to move out, move into the hills, and yet without having a safe zone around their home become vulnerable. And every year these fires, Mother Nature gives us, turn into a real problem. Red flag warnings throughout the area. However, today they're going to get a break. The Santa Ana winds will taper off today, but could return by early next week. House Republican leaders are projecting confidence they're going to be able to keep control of the House. More races are being decided coming their way. Democrats said they still have a path. Republicans picked up 2 more hard-fought seats Thursday. Democrats notched a win in New York, defeating a GOP incumbent there. But still, the sad part is we're still waiting for results from some places, even though the election was Tuesday. Now, one of the big ones from yesterday is in Pennsylvania, in their Senate race between the incumbent Senator Bob Casey and businessman Dave McCormick. Casey was an entrenched Democrat in Washington, D.C. Dave McCormick has defeated him for the Republican side, giving now the Republicans a 53rd seat in the Senate. That was a big flip. In the meantime, a lot of things that the new incoming president and administration will have to deal with is the war in the Ukraine. Russian missiles, bombs, and drones have battered 3 new regions in nighttime attacks. Western help to counter this has not done much since the war began 3 years ago. The Russian military has used their superior air power to blast civilian targets across the Ukraine. A 500-kilogram glide bomb severely damaged an apartment building yesterday in the middle of the night. 25 people were killed there. As the Biden-Harris administration continues to fund this war and pump billions of dollars in, now President Trump-to-be said he will talk to Putin and get this war ended quickly. We can only hope. Donald Trump preparing for his second term. China now is bracing with unpredictable ties in the United States. China's been basically able to do whatever they've wanted here in the last 4 years, even though the Biden-Harris administration kept the Trump tariffs in place. Trump is going to slap even higher tariffs on Chinese imports now. That's right. Trump wants Taiwan to pay Washington for their protection against China. He said Taiwan stole our semiconductor industry technology years ago, but things are going to change here, folks, in January. His victory in the election instantly changed calculations for millions and millions of migrants or potential border crossers. Trump has promised to end this program. He's going to immediately make these people stay in Mexico. He wants to restrict the refugee resettlements on the border. He's also said he will start deportations. He's going to find the worst of the worst and send them back. It's what America wanted. Overwhelmingly, people said one of the reasons why they voted was because of the melee of our border and the infiltration of society by illegals. We told you earlier this morning, millions of students are worried because they thought they were going to get free money from Joe Biden. And they're worried now about student forgiveness loans, anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 for these young kids. They all hoped and dreamed that they could borrow that money without ever having to pay it back. That's not going to be the case. With a commanding win over Kamala Harris, Trump has achieved a stunning political comeback that seemed unimaginable after 2020. This is an AP story, by the way. Trump, through sheer will, held on throughout the campaign, worked his tail off, went all across the country, seized on widespread discontent over the direction of the country. Although you didn't hear that during the campaign.
No, you sure
Everything
didn't.
was great. Inflation was down. The economy was roaring. People were making so much money. I mean, having sex every Tuesday. It was unbelievable, folks. The euphoria that was spread by the news media here. Look what he had to overcome. 4 trials at one time. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to go after his family. They tried to kill him twice. On and on and on. Still came back and won. Susie Wiles will be Donald Trump's pick as the White House chief of staff. She has decades of political experience. She will be considered the president's closest professional confidant. By the way, remember the story last week? The president just surrounds himself with these weak people.
Mark Cuban said that.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. And, of course, the press jumped on it. His main advisor is going to be female. Susie Wiles, another strong, dominant woman, loads of experience. She is considered disciplined and likes to smoothly run operations. Israeli fans and protesters clashed overnight at a soccer match in Amsterdam. 5 people were hospitalized, 62 arrested. Dutch authorities said the attackers targeted all the fans from Israel and the fans. Not clear how the violence began, but it was melee there at one point. Argentine prosecutors say now 3 people have been charged in connection with the death of Liam Payne, former member of the musical group One Direction, who died when he fell from the balcony of his hotel room in Buenos Aires. 3 suspects, identities not revealed yet, are being charged with crimes and abandonment of a person followed by death, supplying and facilitating the use of narcotics, which was found in his bloodstream when they conducted the autopsy. Being held now, can't leave the country. On the medical front, federal health officials are calling for more testing and treatment of workers who were on farms that had bird flu. The new guidance comes from a study showed some dairy workers had signs of infection even when they didn't report feeling sick. Blood test of 115 workers on farms in Michigan and Colorado showed that 8 workers had antibodies that indicated a previous infection. The findings suggest the virus could be spreading more widely than we thought. 4 of the workers reported feeling sick. 4 reported no symptoms. Officials said the risk to the public, though, still remains very low. We told you about the environmentalists. They are now targeting private jets. They said private jets, carbon pollution soared 46% between 2019 and 2023. From the wealthy people, emitting 17.2 million tons of carbon dioxide. I don't know how they measure it. That's what they said. But now they're going after that, which is bad news for the Democrats, because they examined 1,200 flights by the rich celebrity actors, singers, and movie directors around the world, and finding out they're part of the problem. Part of the problem. These people that run around and preach about global warming and the climate are flying around on these private jets. You know who they are. We've all seen them. And they said now they're contributing to a major part of the problem. Well, the Federal Reserve yesterday got the headlines. They cut their key rate by 1/4 point. That's right. Cut it 1/4 point. The Fed said that we're doing a good job with inflation. Annual inflation has fallen over the years, so they cut it by another point yesterday. But it's funny because even with the Fed's cuts, 30-year mortgage rates went up again for the 6th straight week, returning to the highest level since July. The average 30-year mortgage rate now is 6.79%, even though the Feds have now, for the second time, lowered interest rates. Another 1,100 workers at Stellantis' Jeep factory are facing layoffs this year. Further steps to try to cut high inventory at dealers around America. The plant makes the Jeep Gladiator. It's a mid-size pickup. They'll go from 2 daily shifts to 1 starting in January. Their sales are down 21% so far this year. Layoffs are difficult, they said, but necessary as they now join all the others reporting losses, lower profits, and workers have to be cut. Labor's the biggest expense at any business in America. EV mandates and other mandates put on by the current administration causing problems in the auto industry. A lot of stocks were up and down yesterday. The S&P 500 finished the day up 0.7 point. The Dow was virtually unchanged. NASDAQ yesterday up another 1.5%. A lot of that had to do with the Fed's rate cut yesterday. All told, the S&P was up 44 points. The Dow was down less than 1. NASDAQ gained 285 points. Oil was up a little bit yesterday at $72.36 a barrel. And as we get set for the holidays, will turkey in the Thanksgiving shopping carts cost more than it did? As of mid-October, the price of a 10-pound frozen turkey was down 29% from where it was in 2019. That's 5 years ago, frozen turkey. As a result, the whole turkeys are going to cost less, even though they may weigh a little more. During the first week of November, for instance, Walmart was advertising a 10 to 16-pound Butterball frozen turkey for an average of $14.90. So that's good. Turkey prices always fluctuate. We know that. We have to lock in our turkey prices early in the year for our big Flakesgiving event, but whole turkey prices are seeing a decline this year, which will save you a little money at the table. Our cost of a meal this year for our Flakesgiving meals went down $2, and it dropped $2 because of the cost of the turkeys. So thank you, turkey farmers out there. Even with bird flu. Oh, no, hell, remember what bird flu was going to do? Nobody, Mark, was going to be able to afford a chicken, an egg, or a turkey because of bird flu. Remember that?
I do.
It's just like the wheat thing in the Ukraine. God, wheat's going to go up, Remember that bull crap? And nope, American agriculture comes through, folks, and your turkey prices will be lower this holiday. Cat Country News Time is 6:43. Sports and weather next.
Farmer, I got some bad news about your game last night. What happened?
What?
Lamar Jackson produced the best fourth quarter of his entire career.
Against my Bengals defense. I'm sure he did.
And if you want to go see LeBron James' son, Bronny James, play basketball, you will have to go to the D-League and see him because the Lakers moved him down.
Oh, yeah. He shouldn't have been there to start. Waste a draft pick.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Hey, we had a chance to win on last play of the game. They scored a touchdown. They decided to go for 2 to win it. They could have tied it, but they went for 2 for the win.
Right.
So, nice weekend, folks. Beautiful weekend. You can't ask for a better weekend. 59 today. This is golf weather. 61 tomorrow, 58 on Sunday. And we start next week in the 50s. So,
good.
Just beautiful weather. I'm getting a lot of stuff done out there. Fencing, working on buildings. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know, for all you women that came out on our big barn raising project. Remember, we had that out at the ranch when that building was tore apart? There was about, I can't remember who they were, but there was about probably 6 or 7 women that sat there all day, and all the tin screws that were pulled out of the tin, 11,000 of them.
Right.
They went through them and they put a steel washer on and a rubber washer on every one of those and then dropped them in a bucket. I am using them right now. What are you laughing at?
Better hang on to that. Gonna need that someday.
Hey, Mark Sad, okay? SAD, Mark. Sad, your new group, I'm using them. I was so appreciative of you women that sat there and did that. And I saved a big bucket, and I'm putting some tin up on a little calf shelter I'm building for the cat, and I'm using those screws.
Good.
So I just want to say thank you again. 31 out there now, 6:46, and that's what's happening. Mark and Paul here together. We could really both use some of that.